And we're back.
Hey, all right, man.
It's pedal pushers time.
Yeah, it's time to push those pedals and talk some shiz.
I'm glad you said shiz because if you curse too soon in a video on YouTube, then
really
demonetized.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, like the first minute or so.
I cuss a lot, but I try to ease into it.
Right.
But I didn't know that I was doing the right thing by easing into it. I get warmed up, you know?
Yeah. Well, we're the pedal pushers. I'm Zach.
I'm Matthew. What's up?
And this is episode 19.
I think it's 20. I just forgot to change it.
This is episode 20. Look at what we put on the wall back here.
Oh, look at back there.
We put the logo.
Got the logo back.
Some shelves. It looks kind of sparse, but when I sit in the middle, it's fine.
Yeah.
So this is
little
in
the middle,
not
but you got much back. Remember that?
Yeah. So how are you, Matthew?
I'm doing really good. I'm really, really, really happy. We had Five Guys for lunch.
Oh my gosh.
I have meatball pizza for dinner. So I'm feeling strong. I'm getting excited for the holidays.
Is it a beef meatball?
Yes, it's a beef.
So you're beefed
meatball.
up.
I'm beefy spicy. Yes.
Ooh.
Heavy beef. Extra beef. I don't eat a lot of red meat, so I'm excited about this.
You just gotta clog it all when you can.
Clog it all up. I'm excited about the holidays coming up. Thanksgiving's next week. We got some Black Friday action going on here at Mythos.
We do.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, because
we're teasing that today.
Yeah, this will come out before all that happens.
Yes.
So
yes.
Mark your calendars, subscribe to our newsletter.
Yeah.
And do all that stuff.
Let's go.
But I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
Oh my gosh, I forgot. I just assumed we would get to that part.
No, it's great.
I was still thinking about me.
As one does.
Yeah. But how are you?
I'm fine. It's pretty normal Zach behavior. Just like, but no, it's good.
You got a fleet of Proton Pack stuff in this week.
I do. I've the company that makes all the best replica parts. They emailed me and said, "Hey, your number's up," and like the thing that I wanted is not hard, or it's hard to get. They don't come up for sale often, so I had to pounce on it. But we got new pickups in a lot of the guitars.
Right.
The 54 reissue got some throwbacks, and the 335 got some throwbacks. So I'm going to be making some videos about those those new pickups, which I'm excited about.
All sounds really good.
Yeah,
but
today
we got to talk about the Klon,
the actual Klon. The real Klon.
Not the Not-a-Clon.
But we are going to talk about that.
We have to talk about that. I mean, it's the hotness right now.
It seems that JHS steers our way more often than not.
They have a way of doing that because they own the space. When they do stuff like this, that's what happens. They're the big dogs.
They are some big dogs.
They are the big
dogs.
Josh
is a big dog.
He's a big man. He's like 7'4".
He's like 8'3".
He's like 19 feet tall. But he's a large man.
Well, that makes him sound fat. He's just tall.
He's just a big boy.
He's just a tall guy.
He's a big boy. Right.
Yeah, he's at least 6'9", right? Or 6'7"?
He's probably 6'5".
I don't know. He seems taller than that.
Do you think he could dunk?
Oh yeah. I'm always very.
That's all I really care about.
I always get thrown off by height because of my in-laws are so tall.
They are.
That I don't.
What's your father-in-law? 6'9".
He's
right?
6'9".
Yeah, I have a brother-in-law who's 6'9". So
yeah, it's tall.
It is very
big.
tall.
It's not normal.
It's weird.
It's strange.
I don't want to talk about it. No.
Anywho.
So JHS did their Klon kit, if you could call it a kit.
Yeah.
Because I always think of a kit as something you have to like do soldering and put it all together yourself. This is more snap into a Slim Jim kind of situation here.
Yeah, it is the most. You can't even say it's paint by numbers because it's literally you put in the ribbon cable.
Yep.
You attach the nuts.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing about the Not-a-Clon kit is give me that Golden Fleece circuit board.
Yeah.
So this is the guts of a Golden Fleece. Let me take this knob off. And here,
look at it. Yeah.
Let's see. Look away. See, it's got these little jacks on the side, and these are the jacks that go on the back of the Not-a-Clon kit, and so how it works is instead of having just a traditional nut like on, most of the Mythos pedals where we're using a panel mount jack, it uses these board mounted jacks that have a knurled. It's a threaded nut that goes into the jack.
Okay.
You're not putting a nut on the outside of the jack. And all that to say, and I just want to let everybody know, you can very easily strip the threads on those.
So be careful.
One of the things I like to do is actually slip that over a guitar cable and then put the guitar cable in, and then it'll make sure it's straight. I understand why he went with that choice, because this is going to be the fastest thing.
Yeah.
But I know in my gut he's going to get so many emails from people saying, "Hey, I ruined the jacks on this," and then you can't. You have to get a whole new other board.
Yeah, and there's no warranty on these bad boys. It says all sales are final, baby.
Okay. Well, once you goop it.
Yeah.
So let's go over the whole thing.
So the reason I really wanted to bring it up, and the thing that blew me away, is I saw it and I was like, kudos to Josh. Like, what an amazing put together package. Very jealous in a business sense.
Yeah.
That he could pull all that off. That's crazy. Very cool that he could get. I think the number that we have in our head right now is at least 6,000.
Yeah, it was 5,000 so it dropped yesterday. Yesterday being November 15th.
Yeah, we're recording this on Thursday the 16th.
So as of last night, they had a post, or Rhett sent me a photo saying that like 5,000 sold.
Yeah.
Which
is gnarly.
It's insane to think about.
Yeah,
and they're selling these direct. These aren't 5,000 to dealers. These are 5,000
to end customers. Yeah.
Think of the bubble mailers you have to have, and the packing material, the labels, just the logistics of that.
Yeah,
like beyond just like the packaging and the manufacturing of the product.
Yeah, normally you box up, send to dealers. You have a lot, but it's dealers. They're getting...
It's a big box. It's a huge box.
Big box. They can get them a big box.
You get a big box.
You get a big box. You get a big box. All right.
That's enough.
That is enough. So I was thinking about it, and what it got me thinking about was, wow, that's a lot of clones.
It's a lot of clones.
And then thinking about, like, we've talked about the clon a lot. Obviously, you're a connoisseur of the pedal. And
wait,
what?
I got to write that down.
You don't have that connoisseur. And, we do our version of it in several different iterations. And I was just kind of blown away by the fact that the Klon has become such a ubiquitous pedal.
Yes.
Right. And then the idea that he could do this kit. And I just wanted to talk about it. I wanted to talk about like how that happened, how the Klon like ended up like being maybe the greatest overdrive circuit of all time. Is that too much to say? Am I clickbaiting?
No, I think it arguably...
Hey, baby, are you clickbaiting?
Dang.
Yeah.
Not catfishing anymore.
Yeah. You clickbaiting.
I think it's arguably one of the most iconic guitar overdrive pedals.
Yes.
Of all time. So here's mine for those listening. Don't show it to the computer. Show it to the camera.
Cover your face. There it is right there.
So that is my serial number 1666. Klon Centaur. Love that serial number.
That's a great serial number.
I know.
That's really cool.
But it's iconic in its appearance. It's a fabulous sounding thing.
Yes. It has all the hype in the world, and as we talked about in our last episode, it has earned it because it didn't start out that way, and it happened organically up to the point to where Josh can sell 6,000 clones in a day.
Yeah, and it's all this is so interesting to me because not only is he making a replica of this? Well, I mean, it's not a replica. It's it's a homage to this circuit. But
it's not a clone.
Yeah, but in a few, maybe by the end of today, he will have sold more kits of the Not-a-Clon than ever were the actual Klon Centaur units produced, because there was only about 8,000.
That's crazy.
Manufactured.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So, I mean, in a month's time, there will be undoubtedly double the number of JHS
Is this an
Klon
infinite
kits.
like, I didn't see that part. Is this an infinite thing? He's just like, this is a new thing I offer, and here you go?
I'm not sure about.
I'm not sure about that either.
I mean, like, this thinking about, like, before we get into talking about why the Klon's so special.
We do have lots of bullet points here.
But just think, people out there, think about the logistics of this. Think about how, I mean, JHS is a big company. They manufacture a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They have a big team.
Yeah.
But to introduce a product and then immediately have multiple thousands that you have to all of a sudden produce. And most JHS stuff is made in the States, like all the boards and stuff.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot longer than importing them. There's just such a monumental amount of work to make this happen. And I talked to Josh last night about it, and he said that it is. And he said that this isn't some huge money maker. Undoubtedly, this is going to make a huge amount of money. Yeah. But it's a quantity thing.
Yeah, and it also looked like, with the amount of detail in the packaging and everything that was put together, a lot of work and a lot of cash was put into this.
Oh, so yeah, just the printing on the box alone cost probably as much as the circuit board inside the kit does, which is insane to say.
Yeah, but it's true.
But it's true. It's a very, getting things custom made like that is so expensive.
So what I wanted to kind of touch on a little bit here, we've already kind of covered a lot of the JHS thing, but like overall, what do you think of the actual pedal itself at the end? Like what do you think about that as far as and then I think that's a good jumping off point to sort of like the Klon itself and then what we do. But like the marketing genius and the package, I think is fantastic. I think that's awesome. I think people loved it immediately. I saw a big sphere of people that I follow on Instagram were purchasing it and talking about it. So all of that really worked. But at the end of the day, did you check out, did you listen to it? Did you think it sounded good? What do you think about the whole thing?
So there's only one video that I've yet to watch that I want to watch, and it's the living room gear demo where he compares it to his Klon.
Okay.
Because that I think is the ultimate test. Because the Klon, I heard Rhett play it. Mark Hopkins play it. I heard a little bit of Josh playing it, and it's it sounds like a Klon, but I would like to hear it with someone who has experience with one.
Yes,
comparing it to an actual one, just to see, because they are. I mean, all the Klons are different, but as far as an aesthetic goes, I think he played it very safe, and I get it. It's an IKEA. It's an IKEA,
and that is part of the bit that probably didn't get to is it's the whole thing is sort of like married to the IKEA joke as well, because that's what it is an IKEA joke. It's an extended IKEA bit,
and it's kind of ironic that it is so tied to that, and yet building any amount of IKEA furniture would take 3 to 5 times longer than making this guitar pedal kit.
Oh my God! Every single time that I've put any furniture together over the last 5 years since I moved in and married my wife, I'm like, I just want to get rich enough to buy furniture that's assembled already.
Right. Yeah.
But it's hard to even find.
No. Yeah.
Because you got to flat pack everything. But I'm like, can we get like furniture already assembled, Rich? That's all I want. Just buy. That's all.
Sometimes it's not even that. So when we bought our last couch, Sidebar, which is so funny because it was very expensive. And I went, well, I'm not trying. Hold on.
Couches are very expensive.
The couches
now
are expensive anyway.
Yes, they are.
But I remember when Morgan looked at it, I was like, I think that looks like patio furniture. And she's like, no, it's going to be great. It arrived. She hated it. And
yes.
But before that happened, she's like, should we? It's an extra just $70 to have it arrived,
packaged,
built, and people will set it up in the den for $70. I'm like, it's worth $70.
Oh my God!
For me not to just have to. What do I do with all this cardboard now?
I would highly recommended do that.
She hates this couch so much.
I know how much
it pains me.
I'll pay somebody. I'm going to order a Not-a-Clon and pay somebody to put it together for me.
Oh my God! You could build it, no problem.
I'm just kidding.
Although I did give you that guitar setup toolkit, and I don't know if you've ever opened it.
What am I gonna? I have not. I can give it to Jeff.
I gave him one too.
Yeah, but Jeff's my guitar setup kit. I go, Jeff, can you set this up for me? I can't help that. He's going to do a better job than me. You could say, Matthew, you could learn and you could do it yourself. And I'd say, yeah, but Jeff's standing right there.
He's right there.
He's right there. And
Zach's paying him. He can do it.
It's break time.
It's break time. Do some work.
But yeah, I think that's the ultimate thing that I want to know at the end of the day is you've got all these people that have probably would never have considered buying a Klon. Never
Maybe.
really looked at it. And as I'm asking you, it was like, are we introducing this circuit to a bunch of new people? Are they going to dig it? Are they going to like it? Is this the pedal for them? And like that's kind of an exciting part of this too,
Yeah.
because I don't think that he could have done this kind of thing with any other pedal. The IKEA joke, yes, would have translated to anything you wanted to do, but the Klon makes it a great bit.
Well, people have been asking him for years to bring back the
and
Klon.
we talk about it all the time. Is Josh going to make a Klon?
Well, yeah, it's terrifying to us.
Fucking terrifying. There it is. There's my first one.
And even this for a company whose flagship pedal is a Klon clone. It's a bit nerve-wracking to have someone else come into that realm,
the playing field,
and drop something that's $100. It looks effectively like our Wildwood or the Joey or whatever. Granted, we could talk about aesthetics, if we want, but
we will.
But it's going to go one of two ways. Either it's going to wet the whistle of people that are like, ooh, I like the circuit. It's cool. I like what it's doing. Let's explore this space.
Yes.
Well, it's going to go three ways. Okay. They like it. They want to explore. They like it, and they're satisfied.
They're done. Yeah.
Or they don't like it.
Yeah.
And then, like, what is this going to sell for in the used market? $60?
I don't know.
Because
there's so many now.
Built,
it's like not a yeah.
It's like, what do you?
That's part of the charm is doing it yourself, right?
Right.
And so,
but as far as the aesthetics, what do you think about the rather plain? I mean, it fits in with the 3 series.
It fits in the 3 series. It fits in with the IKEA series. I just think that what I find interesting is just like at the end of the day, now you have like kind of a plain white pedal on your board, and is it still going to be exciting to you and fun when the bit is done?
Right.
And I don't know. Like to me, it's like I wouldn't design a pedal that looked like that. Like obviously, so it's wrapped up in that experience, but it's not. I don't think like there's anything aesthetically I would sort of say I don't like it. At the end of the day, like independent of all the things that it's wrapped in, which is the IKEA joke and the kit style thing, I just think it's like it doesn't look cool.
Yeah, I mean it's very safe in its design. Yeah. And to be fair, IKEA furniture is
safe in
pretty
its
much.
Yeah, and that's not me knocking it. It's just sort of like
But it's not your aesthetic. You want when you see a pedal on your board to be intrigued by it.
Yeah.
And it's not intriguing. And that's not the point.
That is not the point at all.
But you want there to be, I mean, you looking at the real Klon.
Very intriguing.
There's this mysticism and like, what? Like, why does it have, it's ribbed for your tonal pleasure, man.
Yes,
like,
it is, man.
Come on.
Yeah. And the knobs, the knob color and all that stuff.
Everything. The jack, it's got the weird like freaking headphone jack power, the 1/8.
Yeah.
So I don't, I understand, and it feels very JHS in the white with simple text and no iconography on the face.
And I'm sure it'll be very effective. I want to know if people, once they're done and then they put it on their board with all the other stuff that they have, if it's gonna sort of work.
Yeah, and I think the one thing we've seen in the guitar player space, is how much people love being able to personalize their board with colors or you know, different versions. And who's to say, I mean, when Josh could very quickly say, let's do a black one. Let's do a pink one. Let's do a silver one.
And I think that would be really cool.
I think that would be genius.
It'd be
I mean, it's not. It's. I mean, like what he's done. Like you said, this is marketing.
It's
genius.
marketing genius.
But I think where we're going to see this go in the future is going to be trying to get a wider reach from a aesthetic.
I like the idea of selling an enclosure to these people.
Well,
that is kind of a fun idea.
I think that's very smart.
Yeah.
If you would like to see that
is an interesting idea, an aftermarket enclosure for it. That's kind of fun.
And not necessarily from us. We know people.
We know people. But a home run across the board. You know what I mean? It's just a personal thing with aesthetics. Like I like to see a little bit more. And I think that's sort of like part of the package when you do make a pedal, even if it is a clone of a circuit or your take on a circuit, like we'll get to with the Mjolnir. You're trying to sort of imprint like the entire experience onto that. And I know that people would say, oh, only thing that really matters is how it sounds. And that's definitely true.
Yeah.
That if it sounds great and if Josh makes good stuff, so we know it's going to sound good. But that's also like part of the decision-making process when you're looking at stuff is saying like, do I like the way this looks? Am I vibing with this?
Oh, yeah.
It's like the bad monkey situation all over again. It's like, do you want to put something on your board that looks like that and it's called a bad monkey?
Right. Yeah.
Do you want to do that? Right. Exactly. It's tough. If our pedal company was called, like you're like waiting to hear what I'm gonna the Butt Chuggers Anonymous, they probably wouldn't sell a lot of pedals.
I mean, you never know, right?
Yeah. What do you think, people? Should we rename Mythos the?
We can start a sister company.
Let's see.
Sister Butt Chuggers.
Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. All of this is disgusting. No one's watching this anymore.
That's
lost
fine.
it. We've lost everybody.
Maybe we've gained a brand new audience
of people that are searching for that on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know how this. I don't know where this is going to come up in the conversation, but it just got flagged.
But okay. But if now the Klon
that's all I can think about.
The Klon is now going to the Klon is hyped up the yin yang, and everybody's like Klon, and now this has happened. And it's going to be even more Klon. What was Bill's original idea for all of this?
For the Klon?
Like, where did this happen? How did this circuit become what it's become today?
So, I mean...
Like, tell me a story.
So legend has it.
Yes. Did we do this last week when we were talking about the hype of Klon? Did we already do this?
We?
I don't know. Or it was like 2 weeks ago? If we did, just bear with us.
We had Halloween and I got sick.
We got butt chugging talk on this episode, so it's fine. It's fine.
So in the early 90s, Bill Finnegan, guitar player, wanted an overdrive that he felt like would fix all the problems of all the overdrives he had, which, you know, back then there were a lot of overdrives, but not, the boutique boom had not yet begun, really.
No.
So he hired, I believe, some guys out of MIT.
Good place to start.
Right, yeah, I guess.
He's a Massachusetts guy, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they derived the circuit, which basically is an overdrive that at the same time is blending in the clean or blending out a like full wet clean mix, so that you have this really natural sounding boost that you can balance with this hard clip sound that just takes your amp and gives you more of it. It never really gets in the way. And so that's how it started. Bill made all of them, I think, himself. Back in the day, it was the most expensive guitar pedal when it came out to ever be released. I think it started at maybe $300, and I think the standard price for the longest time was $350. Which, thinking about that now, I mean,
1994.
Yeah, but even into like the late 90s, like $350, that's a lot of money. But now that's pretty standard
for like a really nicely made.
Yeah, like what? That's a normal overdrive, like for a real boutique, quote unquote thing.
Yeah,
but that's kind of how it all started.
Yeah, and then the hype started to take over. People started playing them. Big players.
Well, eBay showed up, and so the used market grew from mom and pop shops to the world.
Yeah, and
so these things you'd only heard rumors about became something you could actually search and find. So,
yeah. And then when did it start becoming? I mean, Josh was one of the first guys to. Was he one of the first guys to clone it? Like, so, when did that start happening?
So I had to look up approximately when the schematic was actually traced.
Released into the wild.
Well, it was never released.
I know.
So much as
uncovered.
It was uncovered, degooped.
Yeah.
So I think his name was Matthew Chittum or Michael Chittum. It was I think it was on the gear page or maybe do it yourself stomp boxes. Someone had one and they degooped it. They used a heat gun and a lot of patience. Got all the gunk off of it.
Degooped.
And traced the circuit. And that original schematic apparently hit the internet around 2009.
Okay.
So a lot later than.
Yeah, and it was after he had stopped making them, right?
Yeah, because I think they discontinued. I think
2008, right?
Somewhere around. I think mine's a 2006, and this is like from the end. It's like it's getting near the last few years. I think 2008, 2000, something like that was about when they kind of
maybe
fizzled out.
Felt better about it after they were done making them.
Well, I mean, people had wanted to know forever because there were rumors that it was just a goop tube screamer and all this stuff, and it most decidedly wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But
did anybody come close to like nailing it even before that? Where they said like, I think I because you're a pedal builder, you can hear it and you can go like, I think I can figure out what's going on here, right?
So I'm not sure. Maxon released the OD820, which did a similar thing with the clean blend, and it was more or less a tube screamer, a very tweaked tube screamer section, that overdrive section. So it kind of worked the same, and I'm not sure when that came out. I'm sure it was after the original, well after the original Klon had its day in the sun, but no one really had ever made an actual clone of it until this schematic leaked, and there's some things that were wrong about it, and people have since learned what the schematic actually is, but about 2010 is really when you started seeing the world of clones begin. I mean, that's when I started. I think 2009, 2010 was about when Josh started. Yeah. And for years, that was a lot of people's gateway into the boutique pedal game, was building the arguably the most desirable pedal that anyone could make. Because back then it was, I think it was like $500 on eBay and
to get a Klon,
to get a real Klon, which I thought was like, holy shit, I don't afford that. So, and then now they're insane.
The minimum, the cheapest one on Reverb as of this morning was just under $4,000.
Yeah. If you're really really lucky and patient, the best place to look is Japan. And people will post them on there for sometimes sub $2,000.
Why so cheap?
I don't know. I think it's the dollar versus yen, and there have been a few times where I've seen them and I'll immediately send them to like Rhett, and then they're gone. And I think, shit, I should have bought that.
Yeah,
because it's like it's a sound investment.
It is a sound investment. So now that we've got like you just talked about that period of time where it gets de-gooped and demystified a little bit. And then when did you make your first one?
2010. October 11th, 2010 was the date, the very first Mjolnir. It was technically the first Mythos pedal. I made 2 of them. And so the other guy that I made one for and sold it to him, he still has it.
Cool. And where's the other one?
The other one I sold for a charity during 2020. Oh. So it sold for like, I think $2,000.
That's great.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. You know who bought it? Do you remember?
It was an individual who said, "I think Joey Landis should have it, so send it to Joey."
So they bought it, and then money went to charity, and they gave it to Joey.
Gave it to Joey.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
really neat.
Hey, all right. This is a feel-good story.
Yeah.
So now we have the Mjolnir.
We do.
Like the official, we make a few different versions of it. And you are, as I dubbed you earlier in the show, a connoisseur. And what makes it sort of like the pedal for you? Like, it literally was the first Mythos pedal.
Yeah.
The world is now going to be snapping into a Slim Jim and making these things en masse over the holiday.
Wait, did they say that in the video? Because we've been saying snap it to a Slim Jim a lot.
I didn't watch the video.
Oh, I haven't. I've just seen clips.
I saw the clips of it. I saw Josh talking about it on the
his kids,
on Instagram,
but
I didn't watch like the full length video.
Yeah.
But so like this is your your flagship. Like, this is you're saying, like, I took the Klon circuit, I tweaked it how I wanted it, but that one right there is the Klon circuit. That is the one. So talk a little bit about like what our main Mjolnir is, and then sort of the different versions that we have.
Sure, and we can
sell something. For God's sakes.
I can put pictures on the screen.
We need to sell 6,000 of these things by the end of the week.
Holy Toledo! So the standard Mjolnir is my approximation of the circuit.
Yes.
So it's all the changes Because a lot of people will say, "Oh, it's too bright," or it doesn't have enough low end," or all these little marginal complaints that I tried to remedy and make it a little fatter.
So you saying you can make it better than Bill?
Not better, different.
I know. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But you know, your flavor taste.
Yeah. So
that's always the goal, is to make it how you think it should sound.
Well, you trying, right?
You're trying.
And so we reduce the low mid, so it's not as like kind of thumpy in the mid range, and it has changed every couple of years. There'll be like a small change, and then 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. Whenever I did the JHS video when I went to Kansas City.
That was
was that 2022?
It was 2022, yeah.
Okay, we ditched the charge pump, and because I was tired of fixing them. So it's as different as you can make it while still being
Clonish.
Very derivative. I mean, it is that circuit for all intents and purposes.
Yes.
But the standard Mjolnir is, I think, just the best overall all-around overdrive that we make for the everyman.
And would you say that's your sound?
No, I think the Wildwood
is your sound.
Is my sound. I think the Mjolnir, while it sounds great, and I have had many people that say this sounds like my Klon.
Okay,
and the other ones
very
don't.
Cool. Yeah.
Adrian Thorpe, I made him a germanium standard Mjolnir, and he's like, "Oh, it sounds just like my gold Klon."
Wow. Okay.
He's like identical.
And I have the Summer Vibes from 2021.
Yes.
And that's the one I like the best.
Yes. And it has the lowest gain diodes I've ever used.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's very different. But to me, it's like, it's what I think the market would want from that style circuit. Whereas the Wildwood, which I guess I started making these about 2019, I think.
Sure.
I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to go back and look. But I've been to Wildwood Guitars a few times. They are the most kind, welcoming people, guitar store. Everyone there is amazing. But Steve, the owner, and I just struck up a friendship. He's just like a really nice guy and very open, and like just we enjoyed talking to each other. And I asked him the second time I went, because I wasn't going to go and be like, "So I make guitar pedals. Would you guys want?" I didn't want to be that guy. So the second time I went, I told him about Mythos, and he's like, "I'd love to do it, but we want something that's just for us. That's what we do."
Okay.
And so I was like, well, I've been toying with making it big again and doing it, more like the old school, the old school circuit. And so that's what we did. And over the years, we've tweaked it to where, in my opinion, and I think we're all in consensus here,
we've listened to all of them extensively.
It sounds
the most like that one.
It sounds as close to this as I think humanly possible.
Yeah.
You can't tell them apart in a blind test, because I kind of made the first one in a vacuum, because it was I did the first one where after I got my Klon.
Yeah. And when did you get that Klon? The real one?
I got it for my birthday, I think at the end of 2019.
Okay.
So in 2020, I transitioned the Wildwood to be that. And like I said, I was kind of doing it in a vacuum. I did it by myself in it when I was still building pedals at home, and I was comparing, and I had a Victoria amp, and through that amp, it's like, okay, yeah, that sounds just like it. But that amp doesn't give you a lot of information.
Okay.
And for a long time, I thought, this is great, this is it. And then after playing it some more, A-Bing it against the real Klon, having since gotten a lot higher headroom and had cleaner sounding amps.
Yeah.
And at the behest of guys like Rhett, who said, I don't think it's that close.
Damn. That's a good friend, though. That will
it
say
is.
That That's what you have to have.
You can be honest.
And I try to do that.
Yeah.
That's what we try to do for each other.
And
that's good.
We said, okay, let's listen to it again. And we did. And he was right. And so I went back. And it wasn't like it was apples and oranges.
Yeah.
It was just like a few degrees off. And so tweaked it to where now there's no arguing that it sounds just like it. And I don't know. There's something I love the black. I love the look of it, and just the sound. Like, I love my Klon.
Yes.
There's something magical about just this box and this thing, but the sound of it is really good. I don't know. I've played a lot of them, and this one, for whatever reason, as soon as I played it, I was like, this is a good one.
Is there bad ones?
Yeah. Well, not bad, just different.
And it's just the nature of the components themselves and the way they measure out and the tolerances and all that.
Yeah, the tolerance of all, because all the components in here, like you're looking at resistors that could have like 5% tolerance and caps that have 5 to 10%.
And that's going to change a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you do like a 5% tolerance of 1 meg, which is like, so even 1K, that's 1,000, 5% of 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a huge sway in one direction or another. And the caps have a much bigger tolerance. So I had a friend that loaned me his gold one, and I hated it.
Really?
And the gold, so...
Oh, yeah, here you go. Gold versus
silver.
What about horsies, non-horsies, long tails, all that crap?
The first year, they had a different resistor in part of the gain thing that affects kind of the mid-range. It wasn't there, and there were a few other components that were shifted in value. That became shifted. So, but about... so that was 94, I guess, or so. But after about a year, the circuit didn't change. Didn't matter what color it is, what print is on it. There are differences there are modded ones.
Okay.
That Bill made, like he made a base one.
Wow.
And things like that. But if you have a standard Klon, if it's gold, if it's silver, it on paper should be identical to the next one.
Okay. Good to know.
So
good to know when I'm out there shopping.
When you're shopping for your $4,000 to $6,000 Klon.
Ooh. I got about 2. How about 2? Can I find one for 2?
For 2?
Yeah.
We could find you one.
I don't need
you
one.
You want one?
No, I have a Mjolnir. I'm fine.
No, I know.
These people just need Mjolnirs.
That's right.
But it's cool. You know, I think it's an interesting thing because, you know, I'd heard about the Klon forever, you know, just because.
I remember when I got it. You said, bring it by the shop.
I was excited because I was like, oh my gosh, you actually got one. And it's like, it's one of those things where I like the demystification of it because I think it's sort of, you know, in my view, doesn't diminish the original. It just makes it neater because I think that the sound of it, if we can get there with a JHS Not-a-Clon, if we can get there with a Mjolnir, you can get there with buying a real one, and they all have different value depending on sort of like what kind of journey you're on. You know what I mean? And I think that's exciting. And if you want to come with us and kind of enjoy like your journey on like the way that you've enjoyed the Klon over the years, that's what we offer. And then if you've got the bucks and you want to get in there, then you can get a real one. And if you want to have a blast putting together a kit and doing the IKEA thing, and maybe I want to see somebody like make theirs while eating IKEA meatballs and get it like all over it. Like I would like to see that. I want it on somebody's board where it's like stained with like meat sauce. Yeah, that would be cool. Somebody make that video. I want to watch that.
We should make it.
Should we do that? It's actually kind of a fun idea. Just housing some meatballs. Blah, blah.
We could just like flick paint on it and make it look like it'd probably look bloody, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
Depends on your gravy.
I've never gotten the meatballs at IKEA. I've
never been to an IKEA.
What the fuck?
Well, like there's not one here.
There's one in Memphis?
Memphis sucks.
Whoa!
No, I don't.
We love
I don't like Memphis.
What's wrong with Memphis?
It just kind of sucks.
I like Memphis. Beale Street, music scene, nothing.
I don't know. I live in Music City.
I know.
And I don't go see
Here's
music.
the deal. Okay, I've been to Memphis a few times. IKEA, I have a go-to order. If like by the time you get to the end, because the meatballs are in the middle, and then the very end they have a food court. I get a hot dog, I get a cup of coffee, and I get a soft serve ice cream. It's terrific. That's what I get.
Yeah, I've never had a reason to go.
I'll go just for that experience. I want to walk around the whole thing, look at all the stuff, and then get that at the end because it's like $3. It's like $1 each for those things. It's great.
I've never been.
We should go. You'd
I
love
don't wanna
it.
go.
It's so fun. We'll get some end tables.
I'll go buy us hot dogs.
Oh yeah, starving.
It's distracted.
now I'm like, now I want a hot dog.
Yeah, man.
But yes, somebody make a meatball video putting their guy together. So There you go.
Yeah.
So you'd recommend buying the regular Mjolnir and the Wildwood because they do sound different,
and the Joey.
and the Joey because that sounds different.
And
we make the germanium,
and the germanium
one
standard.
for Mass Street. We make a germanium one for Mass
Oh,
Street.
the germanium for Mass Street. Yes, of course.
And those are all different for various reasons.
Yeah, they're all different.
Yeah.
I mean, the only one that is exactly a clone,
Yeah,
in every sense of the word, is the Wildwood.
Is the Wildwood, and Joey's tweak for Joey.
It doesn't have the charge pump. The Mass Street doesn't have the charge pump.
Yeah, that has the charge pump.
This
though.
has the charge pump,
That
so you
has the
can
charge
blow
pump.
it up, and we know because we fix them.
Yeah.
Not as many as we used to. Ever since I put 9 volts only on the back.
That's been helpful.
But also, people get really confused. It says plus 9 volts. Because
So-
you can have a negative power supply,
Yeah.
but people get really confused by that. So it's just a normal Boss
okay.
power supply will work. Any standard power supply.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of permutations, and they all have their own little fingerprint. It's funny, like the Joey. It sounds really good.
I love the Joey.
And I don't know. They all have a different vibe. And
yeah.
You got to catch them all, man.
You got to catch them all. There you go. So, Zach.
Huh?
We already talked about your pickups, right? Did you buy anything else? Is there anything else that you bought? What are you buying? What are you selling? What's happening?
I did buy something.
What
we talked
else?
about it in the live stream,
What was it?
but we haven't talked about it.
What is it?
I bought a vintage TS10.
Oh,
It's not here yet.
yeah.
So it's on its way.
Man, I got
Jesus.
really excited there. I'm getting sweaty. I'm wearing a sweater.
So we want to do a Tube Screamer video for the Mythos YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And that's the only one I don't have a proper representative of.
Yeah, so
like
you have-
TS5, TS7, I don't know, who gives a shit. Like those aren't that good.
Yeah, man. Fuck them.
But an 808, a 9, and a 10, those are considered...
My knees locking up.
Oh, I thought you were shaking something out.
My knees locking up. Yeah, I'm about ready to write an apology video to the lovely people of Memphis, Tennessee on your behalf.
No, like, okay.
All
I'm
right,
not
we're
saying
gonna
the
move on.
people...
Yeah, I know.
'cause I don't like it. But anyway, so
TS10 coming your
TS10
way.
and the reason I bought it,
John Mayer.
no,
You love the Johnny.
I have argued for years that there's no major difference, and there's not on paper. There's not much, but the reason I bought it is because when we set up the new website,
Yeah.
we had international orders where it would take everyone's like their local currency.
Yes.
And wouldn't convert it to US dollars.
Yeah.
So we had sold a few things to Australia.
See, we had dollary dues.
We had dollary dues.
We did.
We had enough money
Yeah.
to buy a vintage TS10 in Australian
Yeah,
dollars.
we
and
didn't
get
have
it
to.
shipped.
We didn't have to go in there and mess with the conversion from PayPal
Right.
and all that stuff. We just
paid Australian
and
dollars.
what a great way to justify this.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. You're like, well, I gotta buy something from Australia.
I mean, but it was a great deal for
Yeah.
all things considered.
Yeah, and we're gonna do a cool video on it because you have a lot of Tube Screamers and maybe a little research.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But are you buying or selling anything?
No, I sold everything. I bought something. Still waiting. I got some pics. I got some update pics of what I bought.
I was like, what guitar picks did you get?
No. I got some update photographs of my guitar. So it's very, 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 very soon.
You said guitar. Do people know it was a guitar?
Yeah, everybody knew it was good. Yeah, because you said on one of these episodes that it was the most expensive guitar that any of us had ever bought.
Yeah.
Or did you say piece of gear? Maybe.
I
don't know. It's a guitar.
But
I got
he
a
does
guitar.
want
Yeah.
the Greenie, the Epiphone.
Epiphone Greenie, which comes out next week. I do. I think I want one. Yeah. I mean, they haven't seen the white 80s Explorer yet, so I might as well. I got to buy some Kirk Hammett stuff. I'm still riding high from the show.
And there's nothing else I'm super wanting. I mean, literally the only reason I got the TS10 was because of the Australian dollars. And I mean, I got the Flying V, but was that since last episode? I don't know.
This episode, we try to come out every 2 weeks on Wednesday, so this episode should have been out 2 days ago or yesterday.
We'll figure it out.
But we just got busy with stuff, so
yeah,
I can't remember. Yeah, when you bought that. So
I don't
think I want anything else. I don't.
Not right now.
Not right now. But
everything can change.
Oh my gosh! If anybody wants to sell me a vintage Mesa Boogie Mark II B,
Mark II B.
Yeah. That's the one I want.
Why the B?
Because it's probably the cheapest one. Because it's not a 1 and it's not a 2C plus.
Well, I mean, I do want a Mark VII for whatever reason.
And
in fact, the Soldano's just not been scratching that itch lately. I don't know. I feel like
you've got the Hammets, and it's like I think you need to bring the hammer for the Hammets, and that would be the Mark VII.
Yeah, but then I have to deal with that Soldano.
Do you want to go in on a Mark VII?
No, it's kind of if I get one, I want.
I
don't want to share.
We'll cut a hole in the wall between our offices, and we'll just
have a speaker cab.
Yeah.
And we can no, plug me in, and you plug in your speaker cab in your office and plug it in my office.
I think that sounds really fun.
And just leave the head in one of the other offices. Let the other person turn the knobs without.
Oh my God. That sounds like a blast. What are you doing?
Oh, there's
more emails?
Yeah.
The bad?
No, there's a defective pedal in England that a guy blew up.
Which one?
It was a Wildwood.
If you blow up a pedal, it's probably the Wildwood.
Yeah. And it's
fun.
If you live outside the United States and you have any Mythos pedal, just don't break it,
please,
because it's harder to fix.
Yes, there you go. I think that's it.
So subscribe, leave us a comment. What do you want us to see?
And remember,
what do you want to see from us?
Yeah.
What do you want us to see?
What should we buy next?
Yeah.
And please, we need to sell 6,000 Mjolnirs by the end of our lives.
Yeah. I mean, we just don't want to be walking around thinking Josh thinks we're a chump.
There you go. No chumps allowed.
That's right.
All right.
Bye, everybody.